Well, good morning. It is Thursday morning. It is February the 20th. How'd that happen? 2025. It is Pastor Robbie George coming to you this Thursday morning. I'm in the city of Statesville, North Carolina. So Statesville, North Carolina. Going to be reading from the book of Galations. Let's see, chapter 5, and going to be starting, we'll start with verse about 16, I think. It says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh, for the flesh lusteth against the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, and heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I've told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God." That's pretty clear. "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and the lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another." So that is Galatians chapter 5 this morning, verses 16 through verse 26. And it is Thursday morning, February the 20th of 2025. I left about 4:20 this morning, pulled out of the yard. The roads were clear. And so everyone will be able to get to where they are going fairly easy. Shouldn't be no problems. After yesterday's snowstorm, if you will, it started snowing about lunch. It finally broke through and started snowing there for a while. You were wondering if it was going to snow at all. That's kind of the way yesterday went. And the dry air just was killing all our moisture, and it wound up snowing about an inch, maybe something like that is what it looked like on the back porch. And for snow lovers, it was beautiful. I hope it's the last we have to deal with, because it's more trouble than it's worth. They had a 50-car pileup, just so you know. I know it's beautiful to look at, but they had tractor trailers jackknife and wreck, and cars piled up into them. One person was killed at the I-40-85 interchange there. That's just past the scales going down I-40. In the town of Mebane, if you go on past Mebane, the scales are there. In Orange County is where this happened. This is where you split off and go to Raleigh to the right. You go on up 85 north to the left to Durham. Right there at that interchange, 50-car pileup yesterday afternoon after the snow and everything got going. One person lost their life that I've heard about, but it's unfortunate. And they had about 5.5 inches of snow down in Raleigh, where we got 1 inch. So just incredible there, because they weren't forecasting those kinds of numbers in Raleigh. So therein is where the pileup pileup happened. And so hopefully we're done with winter. The roads are clear here this morning. I've seen patchy areas of snow on the ground, but really after I got past Knoxville, really no snow on the ground this way. Headed to Asheville this morning, or a little south of Asheville, a town called Fletcher, and then a second stop coming back to the city of Statesville. So right here where I'm at is where my second stop is this morning. Should be up here about 7:15, something like that, if all goes well. Going over the Catawba River here, going into Catawba County here. Had a tornado come right across here last year, I think it was. It hit a billboard sign. You could look to the left if it was daylight right there. Bent that sign around like it was a twig. Actually killed someone just a couple miles there down the river there. And so serious business. But this morning traffic's been light for the most part, heading in a westerly direction. 138 is the exit right here coming into Catawba County. Hickory, I believe, or maybe Lenore would be the county seat of Catawba County, one of those cities. Probably Hickory, and Lenore is Lenore County, if I got my facts straight. They didn't build these roads out this way for a lot of traffic, so it's a good thing traffic's light this morning. They didn't plan for the future on a lot of these roads they built way back then. There wasn't 330 million people in the country when they built all our roads, so however many people there was when they built them back in the 50s or whenever it was, they didn't design these roads for all the people that would travel them one day. Speed limit is 65 this morning, and you maintain that speed limit till you get on out here and start up Black Mountain, I believe. But we'll be going through the cities of Hickory and Lenore right here pretty soon, and then you get into like Morganton, Marion, then you get on up into the general Asheville area. I haven't been to Asheville since the hurricane hit, so I got about an hour from there in Morganton, I think. But Lord just had me working on the message this morning that I've got started on that we preached. If it all goes well, the Lord lines up things the way it looks, and I believe it'll be like March the 9th. So this message I'm working on beginning this morning is the message that I'll be preaching on March the 9th if the Lord sees fit. And out of that Galations passage there, 5 verses 16 through 26. Now the flesh lusteth against the spirit against the flesh. These two are contrary the one from the other. Now the flesh manifests itself in the things that were spoken of, the fruit of the flesh, if you will, and the fruit of the spirit. So that's what the message is going to be geared towards, comparing the one the other, or the spirit, or the lust of the flesh versus the lust or the fruit of the spirit. So it's going to be a message something like that. We know in this life we have this constant war that and that is the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and all these things that are contrary to the Spirit of the living God living and abiding within us. So therein the war is engaged. Another day here we are living in. The Lord has blessed us with this day. He watched over us through the night as we slept, watched over our families as we slept. And herein has given us another day to go out into this world and to make a difference. But once we begin our day by opening our eyes, the war begins and it is engaged. And we all understand this today. Now the more we mature as a saint of God and as a follower of Christ, we can better learn the way the enemy operates and how he gets an advantage over us in some situations. But I think it's 1 Corinthians 10:13 that tells us, there hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful and will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape. So our escape today is the Holy Ghost of heaven. He empowers us through Christ living within us to be an overcomer and a victor in this battle against the flesh and the devil, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and the devil. Nowhere we can go to get away from this battle. The battle is different for some people. There's some people that got up this morning and it's another day they're going to battle against addictions in their life, no matter what they are. There's T-Force Freight over there. That would be the Conover plant or the Conover dock there. Had a couple truck drivers getting in their truck, starting their day at 5:53 in the morning. Those would be the most senior driver among them if they're not road drivers. But there's people getting up this morning as we see the Taylorville exit, Newton, Conover. We have a plant up here. You can get off one of these exits. We're real close to it right here. But there'll be people get up this morning and it's that lust of that addiction, or it's that devil of addiction this morning. And they're going to have to battle that thing again this morning. It's going to be trying to take their life. It's going to try to keep from anything good in their life this day, and they have to win that war. And even if you've gotten recovery, not meaning if you're in a 12-step program, if you've just come out of rehab, whatever, we're not talking about that. Those are good things. I think it's needful things this morning. Celebrate recovery through the Christian church is an excellent program. Not fault for anybody that has a need or has an addiction and they go through these 12-step programs and they decide to go to rehab, or they're in Celebrate Recovery right now. These are all good things, and keep doing what you're doing as far as that goes, but you'll always battle that thing. No matter if you got the victory over it one time, it'll be with you every morning you get up for the rest of your days. That addiction can be eating for some people. That's the thing. We don't think of eating as an addiction, but eating disorder or eating addiction is just as bad as a drug addiction or alcoholism. It sets out to take your life by eating unhealthy, gaining copious amounts of weight, and then your body begins to break down, and no diet ever seems to work for long, and it's a battle you get over. You win the victory in it, and then before you know it, you're right back in the midst of it again, and that's a struggle for people all their days of this world. But it's a real thing this morning. It's just as discouraging to someone that gets up this morning and has to battle that addiction today, and whether they're going to take them a drink before they go into their job or take them a smoke or whatever it is this morning. When they get that break this morning, or they go to lunch and they leave their work and go pick up a burger or something, that addiction's going to be calling. It's a real deal this morning. There's some people don't know nothing about these things, and they think people are weak. They think they use these addictions as a crutch. Generational curses that are passed down to families, and it's through addictive behaviors, abuse. You name it this morning. There's all kinds of addictions, but these are all lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. We're not going to get into some of them, but some of the worst ones these days are right on your phone you're carrying around in your pocket right now, and these are real problems that people are dealing with, and they can't break that habit. That's what it is. It's a habit. It's a hang-up. It'll take your very life. It'll take everything good in your life. Let's get on those good things this morning in the Word of God, talking about how the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace and long-suffering and gentleness and goodness, meekness. Against such there is no law. Kindness. Meekness is not weakness this morning, but it's strength under control. Nobody's making us do this. The devil didn't make us do it. The devil gets blamed for a lot of things this morning, and sometimes it's just us and our choices. Exit right there on 125, 125 miles to Tennessee state line. Even though noon off this exit here, or you can get to Gastonia, whichever place you want to choose. One's to the north, one's to the south. 321 will take you right up the Boone, Grandfather Mountain. 321 south will take you down to Lincolnton, Gastonia, and you can go east on 74 or 85 north and get to Charlotte. Hickory Regional Airport is off this exit. Clouds seem pretty thick this morning, pretty full it appears. Not sure that we'll see anything, but just never know. But the ground is perfectly dry here this morning. Hickory, no snow on the ground at all. Yesterday that just did not get no snow or enough to whiten the ground or Easter messages. It's that time of year, even though Easter is like the third week of April, I believe. It is definitely time to start praying and see where the Lord will take us in the Easter narrative as we approach Crucifixion Day and Resurrection Day. Definitely want to see yourself in a series of messages that takes you to the cross. And then Mother's Day will be coming up thereafter, and Father's Day, and it just, you hit all the high holy days and all the high days of celebration of our mothers and our fathers and our nation's independence, July the 4th, and then Labor Day will be coming up, and the end of summer. And be celebrating 1 year on September the 1st at Archdale Baptist Church. Today being February the 20th, we're coming up on our see those hills around, but it's only 6:06, so the sun is a little bit from rising this morning. Traffic has been a steady flow of people from here. Old North Carolina number 10 coming up, exit 118. Looking forward to tomorrow as we get to our weekend. We'll be hitting that YMCA to get our weekend started again. Saturday morning. Road Hiss exit 116. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but Road Hiss is what it said. We had one driver that was heading to Raleigh this morning. We had one driver that was heading to Johnson City, Tennessee. I could have took that load or this load. We had one driver that took a vacation day, so. Exit 116, I-Card is the name of the town off this exit. So you got Road Hiss and I-Card. And I'm probably pronouncing both of them wrong. But they're off this exit 116. We'll definitely have to stop and get fuel today on the way back. There's Granny's Country Kitchen I'm looking at to the left, and it looks like they people done filling that place up this morning to get them some grub. Sounds like a good plan to me. Let's see what our mileage signs are saying here. It is 13 miles to Morganton, 67 miles to Archdale. So we're about an hour and 15 minutes out from our destination probably. Fletcher sits a little bit south of Asheville, probably down near the airport. I've been to Fletcher before to deliver, not with Carpenter. I think I've been there at another may not have a home church, we always invite you to come and visit us at Archdale Baptist Church, 9078 Hillsville Road in Trinity, North Carolina, just south of the town of Archdale on Hillsville Road. It also turns into Flint Hill Road, but it'll take you down there and veer you off and go down Hoover Hill Road there in the Hillsville store. Just about a mile north of the Hillsville split there at Hoover Hill. Right beside the Dollar General, in between the Dollar General and the Family Dollar Store. The Lord truly has blessed us in keeping that door open for us to meet there at the Hillsville Community Center, so we appreciate the Lord so much for that. We do not take that for granted. It is an extreme blessing to have that open door. Here around me in the shadowy night that we are in. It's weird to say that at 6:13 in the morning, but it's a fact. It's dark 30. Here's for Valdez, exit 111, Valdez. Going tomorrow, but we'll find out when we get back. Just hope it ain't no long stretch on a Friday, but we have no control over that. Morganton is 7 miles, Asheville is 61. I like to keep it a little closer in on Friday if I can at all. Pick a Charlotte or Raleigh every Friday if I could, obviously. Bradford, Virginia, I don't have no problem going there either, but I was just 2.5 hours travel time there or under. I'm okay with that on a Friday or any other day. I don't know, but I know we've been coming up here quite consistently here lately. This is the thing I like about this job. You're always going somewhere different. Today up here in Asheville, back to Statesville. Tomorrow I might be in Raleigh or Charlotte or up in Virginia or down to South Carolina. As long as I'm going somewhere looking out a windshield, that's the whole goal there. I am not made to sit in an office and look out. What's going on in the world. I like to be out here right in the midst of it. Get off the Morganton exit here, Highway 18, go down to Shelby to the south, or you can go up to the Wilkesboro's up that way to the north. That'll take you on up to Jefferson, I believe. They're 18 will. When you get up here around Black Mountain, you can look to the north if you're going west and see Mount Mitchell, the highest point east of the Mississippi. I think it's 6,684 feet, so you can see Mount Mitchell from that vantage point. If you're going east, you got to look to your left, obviously. Look to the north there again, Mount Mitchell, 6,684 feet. Tallest mountain east of the Mississippi River. You figure that's a mile high plus 1,300 feet. Just getting on up there in the atmosphere. I've been up there on top of Mount Mitchell. City exits here, Morganton. You stop and get your grub on. If that's your thing this morning, I don't know if Chick-fil-A's open, but they may be open for breakfast. But the North Carolina School for the Deaf is at this exit. The West Piedmont Community College is at this exit for Morganton and Rutherfordton. US 64 there, that takes you all the way back to Lexington. Take you all the way out to our Outer Banks, where they had some snow yesterday. Quite a bit of it. But that is going to conclude our video this morning, Thursday, February the 20th, 2025, Pastor Robbie George, Archdale Baptist Church. Reach out to us, look at our videos on YouTube and on Facebook. God bless you today.